Ciao, my name is Lucia and this is the GreenOlive cooking channel. Meatballs are something I think everybody loves. They're always the first thing to go at all parties, and they're a great accompaniment with any type of a pasta dish. So today I'm going to show you how to make meatballs from scratch. The ingredients for my Italian meatballs are 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of ground pork, 1 egg, half a cup of day-old bread, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, 2 cloves of garlic chopped, 1 teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. The first thing we want to do is with our day-old bread is we want to moisten it. And so I just used some milk and I've cut up my bread in cubes, and I'm just going to add the milk and just kind of make sure all the milk gets absorbed. And this is going to help our meatballs stay moist. I know some people like to use breadcrumbs, but I like to use day-old bread because I just find that they are more moist than breadcrumbs. They tend to be a little bit too dry. So now I've taken my meat and I've placed it in a larger bowl, and I like to use a combination of equal parts pork and beef. I find straight beef is too drying for the meatballs, and the pork adds a little bit of moisture as well as the breadcrumbs that we're going to add. So the next thing we're going to add is our Parmesan cheese. We're going to also add our egg to help bind. We're going to add a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and my crushed garlic clove. So now that the bread's been soaking in the milk, we can see we have no more milk left. And if you want, we can kind of break it up a little bit with our fingers because it's nice and moist, and we can add that to our meat mixture. Start mixing all the ingredients together. Now once our meat is all mixed up, our meatball mixture, we then can roll out our meatballs. And I like to use a scoop, and these are 3 different scoops that I use. I have a really small one, which I will use if I'm making cocktail appetizers. I have another scoop, my medium-sized one, if I just want to make a little larger of an appetizer. And then of course I got my big scoop, and this is the one that I usually use if I'm having it as a side dish for our pasta. And by scooping them, it kind of makes them all even. And I just scoop and roll. So now that I've rolled out all my meatballs, we have a couple different ways that we can actually cook our meatballs. You can either fry them if you'd like to give them a nice coating. You can put them in the oven and bake them that way. Or how I prefer to do it is just take them and just put them into your tomato sauce. And so while your tomato sauce is cooking, your meatballs can cook, and that actually will give more flavor to your tomato sauce. So however you choose to cook your meatballs, you can go ahead and prepare them either way. Just make sure that they're cooked all the way through. So now that I have my sauce ready, I'm going to take my meatballs and I'm just going to place them gently in the sauce, and I'm just going to let them cook. And so it'll take anywhere from half an hour to an hour. And so we don't want to crowd the pot. We just want to place our meatballs in here, and you don't want to stir it because we don't want to break up our meatballs, but the heat and everything will cook the meatballs through, and they'll be nice and moist, especially with those breadcrumbs that or the day-old bread that we put in there, that we moistened it with the milk. So these are going to be really yummy in about an hour. It smells so good. I wish you could smell these. So our meatballs are now done. So I'm going to place them in a bowl and add a little bit of sauce, and this is going to be a great side dish for dinner tonight. All right, we're just going to add a little bit of extra sauce, and we've got these beautiful meatballs. We can actually garnish with a little bit of parsley if we want. We can add some Parmesan cheese to it. They're very yummy, yummy. Can't wait to dig in. So we're just going to take a meatball and bite right on into it. And you can see the meat is nice and cooked, and it's tender and it's moist. You can see the juice in that meatball, nice and juicy. This is going to be really good. I'd love to know by the comments below on what type of meat do you use when you make your meatballs. I've actually included some other links here at my YouTube channel so you can get the recipes. Please feel free to visit my website, www.greenolivecook.us. And And there's a button down there to let me know that you care, so go ahead and hit the like button if you liked my video. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can get all the latest videos and stories and recipes that we do here at the YouTube GreenOlive cooking channel. Until next time, ciao, ci vediamo dopo.